there, Buttercups. Your resident Teabelle here. Welcome to Hark, 'tis the Teabelle. Let's dive in for that tea today, huh? Hey there, Buttercups. So today we're doing something just a little bit different, okay? It took a while, but your favorite Teabelle made it to our beloved Savannah. And today's episode is really going to be my personal experience, okay? And everyone's experience is different, but today I'm going to tell you about some great places I went and some great things I saw, and overall just my personal feelings on it, okay? So, one of the first things I want to talk about today is the food we experienced. We ate in several wonderful places while we explored. We scored a slice of just amazing pizza at K's Pizza. They're located at 103 West Congress Street. Now, the shop is simple, but it is very warming and inviting. I want you to imagine a giant, fold-worthy slice with just the right balance, light on the grease, big on the flavor, and a handmade, at least in my opinion, crust that steals the show. One slice, y'all, was more than enough. But I definitely would go back. And you should definitely try it when you're there. And you'll love it. I absolutely promise. Now, that was the first night we were there. The next morning, we attempted to find the first place. We had gotten a menu from somebody and we wanted to try it. It looked like the food was going to be pretty good. And unfortunately, we could not locate the place. And we were driving around trying to look up different places to eat. We found that Google directed us to what I would call a wonderful, truly wonderful breakfast spot called Sunny Side Up. They are located at 800 East DeRen Avenue. Now, you can do it to go order or eat in. We ate in because we were on vacation, obviously. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I got the chicken fried steak, and the steak had immense flavor. My mom got the chicken tenders and the Belgian waffle. Y'all, this chicken was amazing. It was tenderized and fried to absolute perfection. And if you're into sweet tea, like most people in the South, their tea was so sweet it'd make a peach blush. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw some kudos to our waitress, who was very well, such a good waitress, and she was super sweet, she did a very good job. But I highly, highly recommend, for a breakfast spot, go to Sunny Side Up. Okay? You will not regret it. Now, of course, we had to have lunch because, you're out, you're eating at the local places, right? Y'all will learn today, if you didn't already know, that I am half Cuban. So I do, in fact, like the basic Cuban foods, right? I'm a little bit more basic than some Cubans, but there's that, but it is what it is. And we were driving past on the main road, and I saw the Cuban restaurant, and I thought, this is absolutely it. We realized, I found it on Google, we Wazed it, got there. Now, I'm still picky, but as I'm getting older, I noticed that I can deal with more than I could, obviously, when I was younger. Your tastes change. But I digress. You could feel the authenticity as soon as you walked into the restaurant at 402 Martin Luther King Boulevard. We started out with the Cuban sampler. And this had your basics, okay? It was all perfectly fried. We had our chicharritos, which is plantain chips with mojo sauce. And they did throw some onions at mojo sauce, but deliciousness, okay? They were amazing. They had the croquetas de jamón, which is just ham croquetas. And the first bite of those took me back to Miami, okay? Of course, they had to include the empanada de carnes, which is just a beef empanada. And again, amazing, okay? And then I was very, very stoked to see the papa rellena. If I mispronounce this, my Spanish is very, very, very limited. But it's just really a mashed potato ball with ground beef at its core. And it was utterly perfection. And this might go over some of y'all's heads, but let me assure you, it was chef's kiss amazing. I can't get good, authentic Cuban food very often. I have to travel for it. And so when we got the opportunity, we took it. Now, we also got a main meal because the Cuban sandwich is typically large enough that if you need to share, you can share. And this is what we did. Now, we also got a side of Maduros, which is sweet plantains. And this is what they do. They start with a fresh Cuban bread. It's light, flaky, and just sturdy enough to hold the good stuff. There's a spread of mustard stacked with smoky ham, juicy roast pork, melted Swiss, and sharp pickles. Now, you can actually get it without the pickles. I do. We did ask for it on the side, though, because she likes pickles. Then it's pressed flat on a hot plancha until it sings. Crispy on the outside, melty and savory on the inside. And I'm just drooling, just thinking about and looking at this sandwich, okay? Oh, overall foodgasmic. I would 150% tell you this is where you need to go because holy moly. I'm from Miami. That's where it's like the food, it's the Cuban food capital. And I can't get that where I'm at. But Savannah, you brought your game, and I will be back. I absolutely promise. Now, the next morning, we had gone to another one that we had been to previously, and it's Huey's on the River. It's perched along Savannah's historic River Street, and it serves up Southern charm with a New Orleans twist. The air hummed with the scent of beignet frying fresh, shrimp and grits simmering slowly, and the chatter of other breakfast goers as they took in the view of passing ships. With its brick-lined walls and breezy riverfront views, it's the kind of place where every meal feels like a celebration. And as you're sitting there, you see people walking by, you see cargo ships that are ginormous. It's just, it gives you many rooms for opportunity to talk about things other than what you might talk about on a normal daily basis. Now, my mom got the roast beef po' boy, and she got cheese grits. It was a beautiful combo of house roasted beef, provolone, lettuce, tomato, pickle, Creole mayo, all on French bread. She forgot how much she enjoyed grits too, y'all. Those cheesy grits, they were very good. Now, as for me, I got the blackened chicken sandwich on a brioche bun with lettuce and Creole mayo with a side of Parmesan garlic grits. At first bite, I realized this sandwich was not making it outside of this restaurant. And I normally take something with me because I don't always finish my food. Partly out of justification because then I can eat it for a snack later, but sometimes I just get full. This time it was not happening, okay? It was not happening. That sandwich was gone. The grits came home, but the sandwich did not. Now, of course, we did get an order of their world famous beignet and did realize very quickly that they are to be enjoyed hot. That's not to say that they were bad a little bit colder, but you definitely want to eat them then. That is just my recommendation. Huey's on the River, though, still very much worth the visit, okay? Now, throughout this whole thing, there had to be a sweet involved. Leopold's Ice Cream is a well-known shop in historic Savannah where people will wait hours for their ice cream. The flagship parlor is located at 212 East Broughton Street. It's open on Sunday to Thursday from 12 noon to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. We were very, very lucky the day that we went to visit them because we were in and out in about 15 minutes. So my mom decided to go with the vegan vanilla, and I got the cookie squared, and we both got kids' cups. Apparently, the vegan vanilla was very, very good. She said it was extremely creamy and flavorful, and she probably would choose it again. The cookie squared was popping with flavor, and it still even has some of its creaminess. So you'll love it. Now, if you can take the time, do it. Check out the decor, read the history as you wait for your sweet treat. And don't worry, do not worry, you will walk it off. And they do have other locations that you can check out, which is you can go to their website, leopoldsicecream.com, and they'll let you figure out, you can go where you want to go. But I highly recommend these places because they were chef's kiss perfect. So there are so many beautiful places in Savannah. And if you had unlimited funds, you would not have any issue because obviously you could just stay wherever. But there are times where what you want to do is a little bit more important than where you stay. And so I researched the hotels in historic Savannah for a while until I came up to the Thunderbird Inn. The rates were reasonable, which allowed us to do more around Savannah, i.e., eat better, do more activities, drive around, etc. It was within a reasonable distance from any and everything. Okay? But I will go ahead and tell you, you're on Savannah time. You do not want to be in a hurry. Trust me. Our room at this hotel had a very comfy king size bed, but you can't get other bed options, so they have a single or double queen and a single king suite. I will be honest, I looked at that king suite. I really want to try it next time, but next time. So they do offer free donuts, coffee, and selective juices in the morning from 7 to 10 a.m. And otherwise, I was told that they offer lemonade and popcorn. And this hotel is located at 611 West Oglethorpe Avenue. And I decided to look at the history of it just to see what it was about. Because, there's so much history in Savannah. This was originally built in 1964 in downtown Savannah. And it features 42 retro decorated rooms. It was updated in 2016 to serve Savannah's fun-loving 21st century visitors. With its roots as a motor lodge / roadside hotel, it was originally marketed with refrigerated rooms and drive-in parking. The Thunderbird Inn has maintained its historical integrity while updating to keep up with the times, which is it's difficult to do that. In 2016, the Thunderbird Inn added solar panels and completed extensive renovations to rooms to recapture simple comforts while updating with green-friendly, earth-friendly ecosystems in the popular inn. Those include new in-room controlled air conditioning and heating systems, plumbing, and ways to minimize and recycle trash. The casual, cool, free-spirited persona of the Thunderbird exudes its authentic, popular personality that began in the 60s and happily carries on that tradition today. Located in downtown Savannah, Georgia, our beloved swingin' 60s motor lodge is located in the colonial-era Springfield plantation near the Yamacraw Indian village. Near the British lines of the Battle of Savannah, Polish General Kazimierz Pulaski was mortally wounded by grape shot on October 9, 1779, near the inn's historic site. Pulaski is considered the father of America's cavalry. Now, this place also has some awards. The Thunderbird Inn, Savannah, is proud to be a 2010 addition to the National Register of Historic Places. Our iconic downtown property won a preservation award for its classic roadside motel renovations in Savannah Landmark Historic District. Now, memberships include Savannah Chamber of Commerce, Savannah Economic Development and Renewal Authority, Tourism Leadership Council, Savannah Development and Renewal, and Downtown Merchants Association. This place is very, very interesting. It's a little more budget friendly, but it does allow you to be close to everything, to do what you want, and their donuts are very good. The staff was very helpful. Definitely look at it, but it was it was worth what we needed for. And would I go back? Probably. So I'd give it 8 out of 10 for myself. There's always room for improvement, but I definitely would go. So, we all heard of the Mercer Williams house, okay? Well, the Mercer Williams house has a museum and gives tours. So, the house itself is located at 429 Bull Street. However, the entrance is located behind the whole house for this museum at 430 Whitaker Street. I'm telling you this so that you understand, like, you'll drive around. It took me a second. I walked the whole block to realize this. Anyways, I saw the hours that were Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The first tour begins at 10:30 a.m. and the last tour is at 4:10 p.m. Sunday is 11:30 a.m. to 5, and the first tour begins at 12 noon and last tour is at 4 p.m. This may change, so you need to check it out. Tours run approximately every 20 to 40 minutes. They are open 7 days a week in September to December, and will be closed on Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day. So definitely don't go over there. Admission is $13.50 for an adult. Students, active military with ID are $9, and children 6 and under are free. Obviously, they will be subject to 7% Georgia sales tax. And you have any group pricing questions, contact them, okay? So, we had located our hotel, and we drove around, and we found this. We found it, and I was over the moon because they were starting a tour in mere moments. I whipped out my card, paid, and tried to hurry my mother, through mental games, like, come on. And we went on this tour, and we loved it. To hear some of the things about Jim Williams that we don't know. He was so much more than what he's portrayed as, either by the book or even what we know. Because this house is a testament to his ability, to his love for what he did, to just who this man was. I'm not going to go into all the information that we got on the tour, but I will tell you, do it. Just do it. Be like Nike and do it. Okay? And for me, I will say it was very easy to picture Jim Williams at his piano while he would be entertaining guests. We had a very good tour guide, and I had talked to him. He was very knowledgeable, and very nice. Like, definitely well worth the visit. So go to the Mercer Williams House Museum. Now, as far as ghost tours go, if that is the thing you're into, awesome. And unless you know or you've been on them, sometimes it is a gamble to pick, to know what you're going to get on. And we were very lucky in that we had two very different experiences, both, those 2 nights, of what type of tours we were on. So Friday night, we went on the Dead of Night tour with Ghost City Tours. Our host was Henry, who was very, very knowledgeable, and he just kept us very intrigued, I guess you could say. So when I booked the tour, we were going in blind. Not that I minded or that she minded at all. So we were worried that we wouldn't find parking prior to this. P.S. You're going to be paying for parking. And it could be a lot, it could be a little, just be prepared, okay? Before all this tour, for several hours, we mooched around the square we were supposed to meet at. Because the tour is 9 o'clock, we mooched around for like 2 hours. And I'm not geographically inclined. I'm going to be honest with you. I need GPS to go places I've not gone to very much. And sometimes I need it for a while. In my mind, it's crazy how we ended up at the same spot, but we went multiple ways. Thank goodness my mom knew where we were, because I would have been lost. And that was also the night that we hit K's Pizza. So, yeah. Now, I digress. I'm going to go back to the tour now. Henry, who's our tour guide, was very knowledgeable. He had a great tone for the deeper, darker dives into the haunted past of Savannah. He shared some great stories you will definitely want to hear. He was also very personable between stops, but just make sure you're in for this walk. I'll be honest, it felt like Savannah was hosting a field trip for multiple schools that day. And for those of you who were not homeschooled, I'm sure y'all know what I'm talking about. You had the different groups passing each other. But it was still fun. You could see what people were doing, and this was more of a historically factual slash storied historical tour rather than one of like exploration. Okay, now would I recommend it? Absolutely. Would I recommend finding parking and maybe not walking around for several hours before? Possibly. But at the end of the day, you should go. Henry's great, and you're going to enjoy yourselves. I can very much guarantee it. Now, that was Friday night. Saturday night, we ended up going with the guy in a kilt tour. So this is where we were joined at the corner of Bull and Hole Street by 8 very interesting women on a girls trip. I believe they were from Philly. Very, very personable women. If you're listening to this, I hope you guys had a good time otherwise and that you made it home safely. So, the best way to describe this tour in particular is that it felt like we were exploring Savannah with a friend while we shared our paranormal experiences. Not just for Savannah, but in life. And we also got a drink or two. He took us to a few places, told us some ghost stories that he had experienced himself, and he expressed between stops that there was something, and also at one particular stop, that there was a goal he had in mind, and I would like to get him on this podcast one day, to essentially talk to us a little more about it, because I think what he wants to do is it's amazing. It's amazing because he wants to, and I'm going to butcher this badly, so I really am going to get him to talk in more detail about it at some point. He wants to make records from days gone by, but far in the past, available to us in digitized ways so that we can actually see what was said, how things were done, etc., from times gone by. And so, that being said, it is a tricky process, but I think that it's an admirable uh, thing to do. And I'm going to try and get him on here to talk a little more about that, but also perhaps about him, his experiences, and just pretty much, you know, whatever we want to talk about, I guess. But overall, the Guy in a Kilt tour is very much going to Savannah and hanging out with a friend of yours, okay? Um, so if you want one that's more exploratory, to talk to somebody, get a drink, that's the one you do. He did mention possibly doing historical tours, but he is a one man run business, with the help of his other half, I believe. So it's not a large, giant business, it's a small business. So we'll see what he chooses to do in the future. But if you want to explore, just be ready for the walk, is all I'm going to tell you on that one, too. So, overall, Savannah is one of the most beautiful places you are going to visit. It's informative, it's got spookiness, it's got history, it's got everything you're going to want. Great food and nice people. It's got some modernization, but tries to stay authentic. Just a few tips that we learned, and I'm sure somebody else will tell you the same. Don't be in a hurry. Okay? Do not be in a hurry. It will not benefit you. Put on your walking shoes. Be prepared. Okay? We walked probably almost 12 miles throughout the whole weekend, which is way more than we normally walk, or I walk. Not gonna say her, but she probably walks that. I don't. River Street is definitely a place to go to check out some of the different places. They have this wonderful honey shop. One place that just Christmas is there year round, I believe, and you're gonna love it. It's definitely a place worth looking into. You can sit on the docks and explore and watch um, ships come in. You can see the different memorials they have. Check out all the different historical sites. Uh, there's so many things you can possibly do. Just know that have a plan. Next time we go, we're most definitely going to have a better plan in motion. Maybe pick a square and explore maybe one a day. I don't know yet because I have not yet planned this next trip. But I really think that it would behoove you, if you are so inclined to visit, have a plan in mind, be ready to walk, and just don't be in a hurry. Enjoy your time, take a breath, and essentially enjoy what is our beloved Savannah, Georgia. Buttercups, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. And if you did, and you have comments or questions or even suggestions on what we should be talking about, which I would totally go for, you can email me at harktisthetebelle at gmail.com. You can find me on Spotify, YouTube, and the Facebook. All right. But I hope you guys have a spectacular week, and I can't wait to see you next week.